So after more than a year of waiting, it's actually been 1 year and 3 months, the land borders in Georgia finally opened. So I want to show you kind of all the steps that we have to go through to do this. Georgia is an amazing country for a lot of different reasons, but one of them that I love is that as an American, we can stay for 1 year. Our visa is good for 1 year, which is awesome. With COVID and everything, land borders and sea borders weren't open. You could fly in. So the land and sea borders opened yesterday, June 1st, 2021. So we are going to take, originally we're going to leave on Thursday, tomorrow, but I wanted to wait and hear some success stories of people crossing back over the border by land. With some things, it takes the border agents a little longer to get the most updated policies. And if you were to fly in, right, the passport control in the airport seems to get the information, the policies quicker. So at about, 7 o'clock or so last night, they came out with an article that explained, hey, yes, these borders are open, and here are, all the regulations, policies, restrictions, etc. on it. So that was put out by the media, which is also backed by the government. The website I use is agenda.ge. But then also in the expat Facebook groups, there were people talking about how they, everyone, right, was waiting, okay, whoever goes first, let me know if it was a success. So luckily there are some people who did cross in the evening last night successfully. So with that, we're going to take today, Wednesday, and tomorrow, Thursday, to get everything that we need lined up, and then we will do the border crossing, the land border crossing on Friday. So I will take you along with me, show you everything that I can film. Usually, right, on border controls, passport areas, you can't really film that much, so I'll at least give you a rundown of it when I get through. But I will show you everything that I can up until that point. We are waiting to get our PCR test done. We're at EcoSense. Today we just did a walk-in, so we just got here. Our number is E104, so it looks like we're next in line.
Reach up here.
Oh, okay, you're short?
Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness. For the blog.
Yeah. So we got our negative results back. So we took the test at 3 yesterday, and they were ready by 9 this morning. So it was already, when we got there, we turned in our receipt of, proof that we took it yesterday, and then they found it in their system, printed it out, stamped, signed, and we were ready to go. So today's time took, 5 minutes maybe. Okay, now that we have our PCR test results back here in Yerevan, we're both negative. Woo-hoo. Next step is to fill out and register with the Georgian Government. So you go to registration.gov.ge to fill this out. We hired a private driver from Yerevan to the border. It's this big van. It was $45,000. We just got stamped out of Armenia. There's a little confusion at the border. Make sure you are registered with the government and you have it either printed out or saved on your phone. There's a big group in front of us that didn't have that, so it took a little bit longer than it should have, but start to finish was probably 10 minutes. So now we are walking back to the Georgia side. We just got through the Georgian side, no line whatsoever, and then we just hired a private driver through gotrip.ge to take us back to Tbilisi. Okay, so we are here at NeoLab to get our PCR test done.
There we go. Hi.
Hi. up in there. Yeah. That was the quickest. How long do you think that took? 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2.5.
Literally. So we went to NeoLab for a couple reasons. One, they had good reviews. They were only 85 gel, which is one of the cheaper ones. So we'll have the results back in 24 hours. We did have to make an appointment, but that was so quick. Like, I'm not kidding you. We walked in, gave them our passports, they swabbed us, and we walked out. Like, you can see, we filmed in there, as you obviously just saw, and we didn't film maybe 1 minute in there. Like, that was quick. So a quick recap on what it takes to get into Georgia. You need to have a PCR test done 72 hours before arrival. You need to register with the government, and you need to take a PCR test 72 hours after you arrive here if you are unvaccinated. It's worded weird, but you actually do not need to show proof of health insurance. They're just saying that if you get COVID while you're here, you have to pay for the treatment, anything involved in that. And why they say that is because before now, anybody who was here in Georgia that got COVID, whether you were a foreigner, a citizen, whether you had a residency, whether you didn't have residency or citizenship, anybody that was here, they were paying for all COVID related treatment. I thought we had a proof of health insurance that covered COVID before we got here. So I went through the process of calling our insurance, printing it out, etc. But you do not need that. So again, we couldn't exactly film too much on the Armenia side of things. When we went to go get our PCR test done there, the nurse was not comfortable with us filming, so we couldn't show that. We obviously couldn't show anything when you're actually in passport control. Again, though, it was very quick, very easy. When you do, when they do stamp you back into Georgia, they give you this lovely little info card that basically says, you know, you need to get your test done 72 hours after you arrive here. And then, you know, numbers to call if you have any issues. No matter where you go in Georgia for your test 72 hours after you arrive, because we are not vaccinated, the clinic will upload it into the government system, right? So you don't have to, once you get the results back, you don't have to do anything with it. We have been told to keep the results because some people, when they're leaving again, have been asked proof of, did you take that test 72 hours after you arrived into our country? So we've just saved it in our emails in case they do ask for it whenever we leave. Who knows when that will be? They did have someone call us. Let's see, it was probably about 48 hours after we had arrived back into Georgia, that we got a phone call from someone in the health Ministry of Health or Health Department, whatever they call it here, that basically just said, hey, just to remind you, you know, within the next 24 hours, you need to get your test done. So it was a nice little reminder. Basically, like right at 72 hours, you need to get that test done. As always, like the video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about entering Georgia. Subscribe for more unique travel adventures. Hit the little bell, that notification, so you are the first to know of any videos I release. And the next one will be right here in 3, 2, 1.